Alright, so here's the video of the trigger box reassembly. So to start, pretty much all the pieces are out. I don't feel like dealing with the safety, but that's pretty self-explanatory if you have it apart, which you shouldn't take it out in the first place unless you're doing full auto kit. You'll lose that bearing. So going to start out, take this piece. It looks really blurry. Hold up. Alright, that looks a little bit better, I guess. Alright, you're going to take this piece right here. This side is going to face in that way. You can see it facing towards you like so. You're just going to slide. Yeah, you're just going to slide this in like so until those holes line up. And you just slide the pin in and make it sound that simple. There we go. Alright, let's see. Next thing you want to do is you want to install the pin that goes in here as well as this little spring. So for that, it helps to have needle nose pliers. I don't have them, so this might take a minute. But actually, let me backtrack it a little bit. We're going to put in the trigger first. So for the trigger, you have this semi-auto sear that just kind of rotates freely-ish, held in by a pin. Then you have this sear. What you're going to do is you're going to take your spring. It's I think the shorter of the two springs, the stronger of the two springs. You're going to put it inside that hole. And then you're going to line up that spring with that little nub right there. You just push it in. For me, I have an extra pin on hand. It makes things a whole lot easier whenever you're putting back the trigger box. So if you do have a pin, just make sure it works. Do this a little bit. Make sure it's not jamming up. If you want a little bit, go for it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna drop it in. Make sure that you have that little pin in the spring that goes back in there, and then you'll line up the holes. Just slide the pin right in. There we go. So now that's in place. Alright, next is that pin that I was talking about. So I like to slide it in just a little bit to start, or slide it in from the other way. So slide in from the back, it'll catch on to, the semi-auto sear will hold it in place. So what you're going to want to do next is you're going to want to take this spring, and you want this end facing inwards toward the trigger box. So, like I mentioned, this will take me a moment, as it's a lot easier with needle nose pliers. So I'm going to take this. And you can see right there, just gonna attempt to slide it right into the trigger box. Here, I'll pull this pin back just a little bit. There we go, it's on. Make sure it stays in place, and voila. So I'm going to pull the trigger, put the spring right inside there. Make sure it moves around relatively freely because you're going to need it for the next, one of the next parts. Now you're going to take this, which is your valve knocker locker, and you're going to take the softer of the two springs. You're going to slide it inside there, and then with this end right here, you're going to face it back into the trigger box, like so. Make sure it moves freely. Then you're going to take the valve knocker, which I need to replace mine soon, and you're just going to slide it into this hole right here. to try to get this spring out. There we go. You can see the spring is kind of protruding a little bit from there. I'm just gonna pull it. It's hard to do with tweezers, very hard to do with tweezers. And it's easier to start from here. So I'm just gonna take the trigger box, flips upside down to where this spring is kind of out. And then I'm gonna connect it to this little loop inside the valve knocker, on the valve knocker. Again, a lot easier with needle nose pliers. Here we go. A little bit easier to use these, I think. Yep, alright. So you just push that in place. Alright, once it's in place, just make sure that this can lock forward. Then you push this, hold that up, that comes back. Alright. Now for the final parts, the hammer, spring, and strut. So the way that I like to do this, it's a lot easier to do it like this, is I will take, see if I can't find any piece. There we go. I will take a piece of string. This I got from Paracord, and I will push down this spring until that loop is exposed, and I will loop the string through that loop, like so. This is a 150 spring, so it'll be a little hard to do. Alright, there you go, you loop it through like so, and then like the string. At least that's what I like to do. Tastes disgusting. But then you want to take the string, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little hole down there. You're going to take 2 strands of string and guide it through that hole. There we go, like so. And you're just gonna line this up and pull the string until it goes through the hole. Well, easier to put the hammer on before you do so. So yeah, there we go. No, oh, just kidding. Alright, let's try it one more time. Alright. I think I got it. Alright. So now, for the last part, you're going to want to take your pin, and you're going to push it through. It's a little easier to do it this way. You want the pin to hold the valve knocker in place. Then what I like to do is I like to go look through the other side, and then just try and line it up this way. Alright. So it's a little easier to put the pin in with the hammer cocked back sometimes. There we go. Now that the pin is in, cock the hammer back, pull the string out, make sure everything functions smoothly. Alright. And you're good to go.